habit. Like whatever they've done their whole life, they're going to continue to do it. They don't do it because it makes sense in that scenario, or whether it doesn't make sense, it makes sense or not. And whenever you come, you want to make a correction on that, I'm very scared because, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Like they're so good at beating themselves up while you want to do an extra step. You know? Yeah. And so you really need to get on situation to situation. If you make $4,000 a week or $20,000 a year, yeah, you can spend like that. But in this scenario, it's different. It's like they live with their parent, they bought 5 mobiles a month or something, a week or something. So when they go here, they start repeating the same habit without really looking at the situation and see if they'd really be able to afford it.
And also, I would say, I mean, I think Jack and all the people here, they have the ability to do things, but I think they just need to wait until there's an order to do it, right? Like, for example,
passive, right?
Yeah, very passive. And like, they know that leaders are coming, but whenever I ask, like, okay, do you know anything about Luke or Quan or Helen? Like, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go ask them questions. I'm like, okay,
it's always their benefit.
But we have to be the one who remind. But then we remind so many times already, because last time before going to Dallas HQ, I remind them about like, okay, asking about the people there, who to learn, what to learn, and also with the HQ thing, like everything here are their work, right? But then whenever I said, okay, we need to decorate the HQ, we need to do this and that, right? But the thing is, like, nobody would, stand up and take action, claim responsibility, things like that.
And also the same thing that like Sasha say. So because I see some people like they feel to ask. Like I just point out that if you were curious, you ask in advance. Like you could prepare to ask them. So I already point out in the past, and I say what is the reason why that they should know about the leader first. And I don't know, but after like the next time, like it's still the problem still repeat the same.
Yeah, I think the problem here is being passive and like not letting time, waiting for somebody to
I guess even I teach everything today.
Right.
No, make the same mistake tomorrow. Like I told you about situation with Mary earlier. She'll listen to the lesson and she'll make the same mistake. She can't connect that lesson with how she would wind up doing that in a month or 2 months later. So I mean, what I'm trying to do today is I'll give you an idea, an overview of how people who have come before you, how that look like, so you can understand what problem you might run into later, so you have a proper expectation. But to really cure all the problems, to tackle all of them, there gotta be somebody who is sitting with them one by one. Like when you talk about passive, somebody pushed. If they're so sensitive to feedback, somebody really help them to understand that.
Right.
If they're like too robotic, that's when you have to explain in this situation, you don't apply this formula. So it's like 101 is a lot of like 101 is 40 now 40. Like Quan can tell you best, and she can attest to that. She'll learn a lot of things, but when I show her that, hey, why don't you talk to her about healthy ego, for example. She understands that when somebody do a lot of MG1 more than her, she would have to come back and really looking back and reflect on her, right? But then when I show her another text that, hey, this cross light could be able to apply better people skill, she will not look at herself. Or the cross light could be able to influence the downlight to work harder. She's not looking at herself. So it's the same concept about healthy ego, but you have to help them apply 10, 20 different kind of areas. They won't just learn one and they apply one. They learn one and they learn 20, and you have to help them apply 20. They won't be able to see it right away.
Yeah, I think there's another case is like, okay, so after we show him, okay, we have a lot of money to cover the TVs, he's 200, he's doing this and that, a lot of stuff, and then he would just look at it and he would like, oh, but it's not like an aggressive. Oh, I have to find a job really quick, solve it as soon as possible. It's not
See.
that energy.
So again, one person show it, and the other person have to go to him and explain. When Kevin said that, what was your reflection? Oh yeah, I mean, we need to buy a lot of stuff. Okay, continue to dig deeper. What do you mean to buy a lot of stuff? So how much is those stuff? Oh, about $2,000. So can we all afford it? We might be. How much from each person? 400, 400, 400, 400, 400. Do you have 400? Not now. Then now they understand. See, like I tell you, they need a personal one-on-one translator in all situations.
Right.
To build somebody like that, you need a super mad person, a kind of mad person, a kind of friendly person, and a super friendly person. So they're poor people. They always take extra steps.
God.
It's not like they will go to you and clarify something. They're just going to wait until you come. So if you want to build people like that, you would have to drop the posture. You don't have a mentor or coach title. Like if I want to quantum reflect, I have to go and, hey, do you allow me to reflect for you? And so these are the terms I would use for quantum. If I were you, I would ask this. If I were you, I would say this. If I were you, I would do this. If I were you, I would do this. So this morning when we went to the bus, right? I had a plan for the trip. So Luke, he didn't have the habit of being dependent. So he also planned to go to the bus station. But when Kwan stayed with us, she knew that the tour already planned out, she wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's not like, I know you took care of me, but I'm jealous of how you plan things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn how you do it too. So whether you do it for me or not, I hate it when somebody knows something I don't.
Right.
So once we got there, I had to take her out and say, hey, did you plan out yesterday night? No. If you plan over again, how would you have planned? I got to do that. It's a lot of extra steps. They won't do everything by yourself. Imagine all the training you do at the meeting. They won't know how to apply.
Yes.
Speak for me. See, so you have to really show them how to apply. Not just see again. You cook. You making sure they have to be hungry.
Mm-hmm.
You feed them, making sure that you would have to spoon feed, not put the wrong stuff in their mouth and put the right ration, and then after that you make sure they can digest it and they don't have food poison. And you're checking their waste, their crap, and making sure that they properly digest.
It's like taking care of a baby.
And then after that, you gotta make sure that they will have to come back to you again.
Yeah.
The next time instead of you going to feed them. So it requires so much energy to build somebody like that. My nature, when I see somebody as a melancholy phlegmatic, I can afford to build them if my team is on the team of 2 or 3. But if I have like hundreds of people, I'll prioritize somebody who's a little bit more energetic.
Right. Somebody you know
This requires so much energy. Now I'm not saying everybody's similar.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys are like 70% similar, some of you guys are only 4% similar. I'm just saying a lot of time the nature is not entrepreneur. Their nature is more like go to school, be an engineer, sitting in the office, working on the computer, don't have to talk to nobody. All of them, see, ironically, they have a lot of problems, but they have high ego. You know why? Because they don't want people to know who they really are. And they don't want to go home, sleep at night, and face the real self. This is me. And so when they go out, they try to creating that shell, that image. So they don't get to be vulnerable and attacked by everybody around. So a lot of actual work.
When you talk about that, like what should they do to make everyone around them to be more comfortable? To show
How to make people around them be more comfortable. See, the only thing I can do is I can only listen how we feel when you guys doing this. Like if we're trying to be silly, we're trying to be dumb, we encourage you to also expose your weakness out. Then you would think it's a waste of time to hang around with people like us. But if we're trying to be very smart and knowledgeable and say the right thing, then you feel like you're being scammed. So, I mean, That's why I'd rather control from my side rather than control from their side. Unless they have a dream, they're willing to change, they hate who they have been, sure. But when I build people like that, I'd rather have more than 4 to 5 roles. Because in the past 9 years in the business, God knows, I haven't seen one single person like that have changed. Because it's just making things harder to change them. They don't even have a strong why.
Yeah. I think for teens specifically, but I think also for
So
all
look at her, yeah, she's excited about her future.
Oh my god. So for all the MPT, because we've been talking, like we've been talking to them like about their problems so many times, and after every time they promise to change, and they change for a few weeks, we even told them like, hey, who do you think you are, like to make us do all the hard work and receive nothing. Like we pointed it out, even like for example for teens, we pointed it out. Okay, you'll be in the process for 9 months, not have been any like one single PV yet, but you see that all the hard work, from upline, so many people put into you, but then still,
Oh, you do that, they will feel bad. But if you don't say anything, they won't push themselves.
Yeah,
they will
like
feel
we
very
have so
normal.
many roles.
It will make them feel guilty. The whole goal is to push them and go grow a little bit. Then they beat themselves up. If you don't push anything, see, these are the guys that hate pressure.
Like
But the only time people grow is when they have pressure, right? If you give them pressure, they run away from it.
But they're gonna be somebody who inspire after that.
Yeah, like extra word. Yeah. After one person pressure and the other person, you have to say, I know everything started off a little bit weird, a little bit rocky and choppy and stuff and rough a little bit, but you know what? You can do it. These are the things, something that you can change, 100%. Like it's a lot of extra step because it's too sensitive and vulnerable, and it's just very hard to grow.
Back then to have problems, but until that, I have to accept that that's me. Because if you keep like running away, then when you are out of line, tell you, oh, that's you. But for me, it's like I feel pressure, but then I gotta beat myself up when I'm too guilty. So I just really like I read the chat, but I just didn't reflect much. I just feel really bad about myself. So it doesn't work out.
Why didn't you reflect though? Because when you reflected, you had to really confront yourself.
Yeah, it's like that's you. You really have to accept it. Yeah, so I didn't like change much. But then for the past few months, I feel like my team got stuck because of me. I didn't change. So that's why when we pointed out, and I have to accept that that's me. I'm that weak, and I have to accept that. Oh, so I'm weak now. And when I said that, to build up you, I need a lot of roles, like 4 roles, like we just said, and I feel bad too. But this time I didn't beat myself up. But like, I'm already really slow and I'm weak. So why don't I accept that? I make it so hard for other people to help me. So now how can I make it easier for upline to help me? They don't need a lot of roles anymore. Then I have to be the one who comes, if you want me, what you do. Like I have to start asking more questions, because back then, like, I have to be the one who asks questions for me, and then they answer it by themselves. But now to make it easier, I'm be the one who asks questions, so they just gonna answer. Yeah. So you make it easier.
That's a stupid question.
So you gotta accept yourself first. Is that the first step to not repeating the same mistake again?
You have to accept that you're stupid first, but you do change.
I mean, I know that sometimes he does understand it. He does have that thinking, oh, how can I back up a line? How can I not have the same thing with you? But the thing is that it just stopped at that point. He doesn't come and communicate and actually talk to us.
Yeah, like not sharing.
You need to move Henry and Mia and Sophie here. Yeah, we're lacking of about 4 to 5 roles. It's a comforter, an inspirer, a follow through, a friend or whatever. Yeah, there's like a lot of roles that need to be filled up.
Go to work and pay for us.
The thing is, like, what else would you bring back?
See, yeah, I mean, after working so hard,
Yeah,
what do you have
do
in
we
return?
have in return?
It's somebody who don't have a skill set to sponsor people. Like you gotta
Yeah.
go for a long way.
I mean,
So
it's
it
like,
just requires so much work.
yeah, if it's like we put all the hard work in, for the first year, for your first year, and then the second year you come with like 5, 10, 60 people, then that's all worth it. Right?
You know
But
how
the
to
thing
make them
is-
change the fastest? Give them a downline like that.
Oh,
So they
like Kevin Jackson.
yeah. Like Quan Chain too, because she has Hong, she has
But,
Kevin Deep,
but isn't it, the whole team gonna have the same problem, man?
You should have a guy named Kevin Wade. And she looks at the guy and says, I don't want this.
Yeah. But the thing is that when
Just like she's scared of people who looks like her. Every time she looks at them, she will hate herself.
but if
No?
we bring that weak people in to make these people change, we're gonna have to continue bringing
Continue the same
weak
cycle.
people
Yeah. So
in.
after you be able to chain Kevin and
You
him,
want it?
then you're gonna have to find another team for him.
You want to spend 1 year with
So then
another guy?
one of the first team chained and the second team was
Yeah,
stay active.
no,
So we have
I
to
wouldn't
find a third
prefer
team.
it.
Looking long term, changing yourself faster.
Yeah, changing yourself faster.
Man,
Yeah.
if you don't know, like if you keep that kind of personality in life, like nobody wants to live with you. Like even if you look at job, like the boss is gonna have a hard time to give you feedback. Maybe you don't do your job right, and then like, they're gonna scare you, you're gonna break, you're gonna make yourself up, or even if
Right.
you date somebody like. Yeah, like what if you don't watch this shit? What if you think you know like other people? Like, they're gonna give you a hard time. Like, they're having a hard time to give you feedback as well. So
Continue.
so
Experience.
so at the end of the day, like if you don't keep or like get rid of that image, get rid of that personality, like nobody wants to hang out with you. Like even if you like acid, like, if you have best friend, like, trust me, like, you're not gonna have a best friend in life as well, just because of that. So yeah, like nobody comfortable to be around you just because like, you like not always be faking. Like put up the image that you didn't want other people to hurt you.
So just good tips is just accept your problem and knowing that can be fixed and letting other people show you how to change that. If not, then we're gonna have to wait till they really failed miserably and they hurt so bad.
Yeah, like they hurt people around themselves so much.
And then they leave a
Can
scar
you-
and they're taking a long time, then see most of the non-Olympic leaders in my team took me about 5
Leaders.
years to finally be able to show them
Like
how to change.
confront
5 years,
them.
yeah, confront.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah, man.
You know how she changed? I took her out, me, look, and a bunch of people. We had like a crucial conversation. We like confronted, and we couldn't say that until she had a team like a 4 or 5. So before that, I mean, I don't want to risk it.
She will speak.
yeah,
Yeah,
before that, like,
Ego.
sit on our heads.
yeah.
Can you do the same thing though?
On the outside, and we started to pray her and worship.
Oh, I think one more problem. I mean, I wouldn't say it's problem. It's an issue for now. Okay?
Yeah, be careful how you say.
Yeah. I'm too scared now. So it's like it's not just after we give them feedback, they're gonna feel hurt, and we have to care about that. It's also one more thing that's like when we give them too much feedback, then they kind of afraid of us, right?
Afraid of you
They
and
try
not-
to act perfect to not disappoint us because they think whenever we give feedback, they disappoint us again. Or they did something bad, and they should perform good. And sometimes because of that, they fail to speak up for themselves,
Oh my God.
right? Like let's say they are tired for the meeting, but then they don't dare to say that because they think that we might think that they are lazy,
Amy.
and then we might give them another training, So right? Does that happen?
So yeah, so it doesn't like give the safe feeling to give feedback at all. So I don't know, but like like I don't know, maybe that if they become more sanguine or more choleric, that so the upline would feel safe to give the feedback. Yeah.
What do you want to say?
I just want to ask questions about validation because, like, say if I have a group of friends and then I want to reach out to them for the opportunity, but then I'm scared that if I like touch one friend, and then it's like a warmth. Like everyone will know.
We'll know about it.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah, do it. I mean, you have to go through that one big, the hardest pain ever, and you're never gonna really be worried about anything else. So my biggest one was went to nail salon, and then this lady, my upline took me there like once, twice. He said, the third time you come, you make so much sales. I say, why? How do you know? Oh, because the same story happened the last few times. The third time you kept coming back after they kick you out, they're always gonna buy a lot. So I came back the third time by myself. She came out with a big stick. She's like, you don't get out of here. I smack your butt. That was my biggest fear and embarrassment. After that, there was nothing gonna be able to hurt. If you guys are Vietnamese, they put your name, your pictures, your everything information on the page and then name you to label you in front of like thousands of people. Or if you cool in Vietnam, you have automatically have thick skin. You know how? You went to school, you're late for about a minute or like a second. They put you right in the middle of the street, of the school,
Right.
under that little flag, and they'll just call your name, and they're just gonna talk about your name to everybody. Everyone know how bad you are.
But he moved here too quick.
Yeah, he moved here too quick. He moved to America too early.
This is a Vietnamese school.
School of the gifted.
VWW.
Don't feel hurt. I mean, yeah, you have to figure out a solution. Like how to. I mean, not feeling hurt is not easy, but like how to get over that phase.
What do you think?
You feel hurt after feedback? Not now.
Have
What
a,
do you feel? Về đẹp không?
Yeah, just anything you're afraid to do, just go through it, and then you are never gonna have to really be worried about it any other time anymore. Yeah, that's how I grow. Because you know how many times things like that happen, and you look at your life, and nothing is still wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. See, so advice I have for you is whatever you're afraid of, just look back in the past couple of times you had it, see what was wrong with it. You're okay, your life is all right. Mom's still there, your dad's still there, your eyes still there, your eyeball's still there, your nose still there. Nothing's lost. Nothing. Your reputation was taken out there for one day and then that's it. No one else remember after that.
Right. After you just
It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. Got so hurt once, and then from then on, nothing gonna be able to hurt you.
After one time, it's okay. We'll be hurt again.
Strong.
You hit. Look. So, how's the experience dating one
10 years.
for 10 years?
Wait, is it recording?
She's not there. She's not there. You don't
That's
want
a hard question, but I don't know the answer.
You don't want to sleep on the couch?
No, it's because I don't have a couch at home.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
We gotta accommodate you.
Yeah, it's not that I want to come here. It's because I don't have a couch at home.
Oh, you mean you don't want to come here?
No, I'm just kidding. I love to come here.
Can you speak up for justice?
In relationship, man, woman talk.
Sit here and talk a little about your experience for
I don't have a
9
man.
years.
I don't have a man.
No, like my girlfriend is way more better than you guys.
Oh.
Oh my God.
She's willing to change. She's willing to change only if.
Is this our spoken word? Oh.
I feel like you told me like when life going up, you give a lot of positive. Like when life
so
going
be positive.
down, okay, like you look down, oh, I'm better off than other people.
Oh my God.
Very good.
It's okay.
Yeah. Maybe they know the problems, but they are too.
Scared, crying.
Crying? See, she's crying inside.
Oh no! I think she was the bathroom.
You know, Tom, my dad ran so down. A couple of months ago, he went to the car and cried by himself. Because I yelled at him a couple of times.
I think like these, you know, whenever they listen to
Why
trending.
you laugh?
Oh, hello.
It's really funny.
Now it's
Speak up
different.
for me, please.
Now, whenever I yell at him, they say,
Oh, speak up
I
for
want to
me.
go to your car with me.
Yeah, I think people, you know, I think people here, I think Malang people are best with, you know, reflection. You know, like after they listen to trending or CD, they know it. And I think they might reflect and look at themselves too. But the thing is, maybe they don't want to change yet because it's not out of their comfort zone. And I think like,
She has the least problem
yeah,
out of all. She still has the least problem.
they haven't known, you know, like what's consequences they might have to face in the future. Oh, I mean, she has to be very good.
Yeah, no,
But she changed
she's
a lot.
the least out of all of the people you're talking about. She's the least problem.
My people, huh?
No, I mean all the people that we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
We only have about 30 to 40%
Of what?
At least,
of the melancholy factor.
All the
She doesn't have that much problem.
1,000.
But I want to make it.
She's the best of the worst though.
Yeah, it's still better.
you want to be
Yeah,
the
that's
worst?
better than the worst.
Yeah.
The best.
Not the worst of the best.
Yeah.
The best of
Oh,
the
one.
worst.
Not my team.
Ah, so your goal is to become the worst of the
Young,
best.
If you want to yell, you can yell in Korean too.
No, you know, this is cute. This is not wrong.
Speak it down as well.
You know, like after,
Juan, sit here and share your experience.
Oh, no.
The
Yeah,
process-
like,
The process of changing your
Now I
melancholy
know why
phlegmatic.
she's traveling, telling her success story.
See, you put her in,
Oh my gosh.
when they say the spotlight.
Okay, Juan, now tell them about how much headache you have given to people around you.
then you have to share because you have nothing.
You shine like a star tonight. Look at
Let's
these.
go, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, Juan.
Okay, let's record it. We put on the TV English material. Like success story, Melancholy.
All right, Juan, share your experience.
What experience? What I need to share? Juan, how you know, like whenever like feedback you, like how do you after so many times and when you committed to change, you know, what do you do when you feel hurt? Like how do you overcome that phase quick? And also, you know, like I know that whenever we fail in, you know, like maybe appointment or whenever Ken is dropping, there might be some like disappointment feeling, right? And how do you still do the work, you know, like after that? So basically, how to get over that hurt or guilty phase, you know?
I mean, for me, I think that everyone feel hurt too, like when they fail. But like he said earlier, like for melancholy pragmatic bias, like failure is something really big, you know. So when you fail, like you just focus on it, but you never look at what you get. So you just focus on how hard it is, and you know when a Canadian drop, you just like, oh, you know, someone just waste my time. And someone just dropped, and I put so much time and effort into this guy who like the drop. Like it's shape up because we go to school so much, and I'm usually someone who tries to get like you know all the extra point A+ in school. So for me, whenever I get a B or like 90%, it's like the end of the world, you know. So when I'm going to the business, it's totally different work, you know. So I have to change a lot. Like you said earlier, I don't usually you know, like break the rules or like always look for permission, validation, you know. But in here, when you become business owner, it's not like in school or like going to job, like someone gives you a task or assign for you something to do, but sometimes you have to make decision by yourself, you know. So that's when you need to be more flexible. But then whenever I, you know, when I felt, usually it's gonna be a lot of guilt, right? You feel guilty and, you know, like earlier, I heard the example that you feel sleepy, but you don't want to tell your upline because you're afraid that after that your upline gonna give you a training or like you know yell at you. So back then I'm gonna look at like, oh, my upline gonna yell at me. But now I don't look at it anymore. I look at how, you know, if I tell them that I'm sleepy, then they're gonna yell at me maybe. But after that they're gonna be a solution. Or at least I tell them like that, then they know who I am. They know that I have weak energy. So next time they're not gonna misunderstand me, you know. If you guys disappear from a meeting sometimes like that, because melancholy usually hide our problems a lot, or like hide our weakness. So then we do a lot of stuff that is really mysterious for other people. You know, it's like suspicious for our offline. Like sometimes offline just like, you know, what's going on, like where are you, because you don't want to chat, or like they don't even know. You just expose that much for them, like all the weakness. So you always try to give them the perfect side of you, but not the weak side. So this causes a lot of assumption from other people. Because let's say if you don't tell them that, you know, today I'm busy, you know, or you don't send message that much and you feel guilty, you don't want to tell them that today, you know, I have to focus on school, on job, then there's gonna be a lot of assumption in their mind that, you know, oh, this guy's lazy, you know, this guy don't want to do business. But just because they don't know that you have the exam that day, let's say, or you have something that day, but you don't want to share it because you want to keep the image of, you know, I'm a good ideal, you know, I'm doing habit every day. But it doesn't work like that for long term because your life don't understand you. And a lot of assumption, confusion, then later on after they found out, and that when you start explaining, so like it's, you know, it's already caused so much confusion and assumption. Why don't you just be straightforward or like just expose yourself at that time? Yeah, so back to the example. So I don't look at how my upline gonna be mad at me or yell at me anymore. Look at how after that they're gonna be a solution, you know, and or upline understand me more. Yeah, so I look at the gain side more than the losing side. Because we usually really negative and it's just a problem and we're gonna draw a lot of things in our mind. We are very overthinking about something. But yeah, so that's caused us lose a lot of energy. You know, so sometimes melons like they don't do much, but they think a lot. So that's caused them to feel tired most of the time. Or like their mental capacity is not much. Like if you listen to Phil audio, yeah. So our pull is, you know, it's mostly just go to thinking, but not really doing. Because we already draw a lot of things in our mind. We haven't even started, but we're gonna think, oh, what if I fail? What if I'm like this? What if I'm like, yeah. So after Phil explained about my personality, and he, you know, he let me understand that, hey, that's you. So I accept it and I try to fix it. So sometimes I don't try to overthink anymore. If I do, then I'm gonna tell my upline. So they're gonna list out for me to see, like, you know what, this one is not necessary. You know, this doesn't make sense. Why you even think like that? So it's a few times like that, and I'm like, oh, you know, I really have to share out because all my mind, all my process of thinking, it was a bit wrong, you know, but I never shared out. So I thought that is right. So I keep thinking like that. Yeah. So I think you luckier compared to me because, you know, you just in the process or you just launch it. Your upline already explained for you even before you have a team, right? So don't wait until when you have a team like me or you in the business for a while and then you start understanding yourself. You know, it's okay to accept that that's you or, you know, you weak because it's better than you keep protecting your image, but your team never grow or even yourself. Yeah, so I know that when you said that 90% of the melancholy phlegmatic not gonna be in the business for more than 3 years, right? So for us, sometimes we're gonna think, oh, that's me, I'm not gonna be in the business, or, you know, that's me, I cannot build this business. But yeah, don't think like that. Just, you know, just understand that he's saying like that because you have to change. Because if you just keep the version right now, you cannot succeed in the business. Yeah, so when I get that message, I don't feel offended, or I don't feel like, you know, it's the end of the world if I'm a melancholy phlegmatic. I just have to accept that that's me, and, you know, I have to change, you know, so I can have a team, so I can do my team.
Nobody casting.
So how can you keep your mind simple if you're like used to overthink?
Simple. So like I said earlier, like I have to share with my upline so they can point out for me that, you know, yeah, because usually when something happens, our mind gonna be like, oh, what if this case A, B, C, D happened? But when I actually shared out with my upline, they were like, you know what, D is not necessary, C is, you know, doesn't make any sense, and B like just, you know, it's not really relate to the topic. So they kind of like explain for me each thinking, so I can understand that, you know, I keep thinking negative a lot, but not look at the against side, and you know, some of it just doesn't make any sense. But just because I'm afraid of failing so much, so I think of that scenario. Yeah. So that's why the coach explained and I understand more.
So can you share first like your experience during the process as a candidate? Like presently, what's your personality and
A long time ago, but my process pretty quick. It's only a month.
oh,
Yeah, because it's only a month. Yeah, because I stay with my professor, which is my sister, in the same house, in the same room. So it's very easy to ask, and you know, she give me a lot of feedback. So I don't have trouble with teaching chat or anything. So that's why I pass it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you stay in the process long or short. But you know, you only start the business when you truly understand why you're doing it and you start doing the work. Miss India, she always applied. I think the quickest to get people. It's very quick.
Yeah.
But then when the base fail, like,
Mover and shaker.
Will you PM when you have a team that, you know, before you drop? Did you think that your personality somehow affect the people that you should drop in your team? Because I saw them a lot of emotions and same one, right?
because usually we hide our weakness, right? But it's not good when you keep hiding your weakness and your team don't understand or don't know anything about you. Yeah, and sometimes you try to be perfect, so you want to take a lot of responsibility, and you just overwhelm yourself, and then you stress, and then you burn down, and then you start feeling negative again. So yeah.
So how do you rebound from like the team drop?
No, I mean at that time I just feel bad, but you know, it's not like I know that it's my fault, but I'm not like, oh, it's my fault, so I'm just gonna quit. No, it's my fault, but then I wanna change, you know, and I know that I still have the ability to build up the team again. So I also have a little bit of ego. It's not like, you know, I think that, oh, it's my fault, so I just don't do anything, and it's not for me. The business is not for me. No, I don't feel like that.
or like if you have a high ego and like accept the mistake of myself, so like it's nothing wrong.
So like I said earlier, like you either have to like have a team or responsibility, because let's say right now you just by yourself. So even if you know that's you don't accept your fault, you don't accept your mistake, nothing happened because no one get hurt. But then if you have a team and you have a downline, let's say you have a kid and you don't accept that that's your fault, then you're gonna hurt your team. So that's when you have an urgency or you have a consequence in front of you to change. But right now it's only you. So if you don't accept it, what's wrong? Yeah, no one got hurt. Yeah. But upline gonna, you know, they have to really put a lot of time in you. But yeah, you just doesn't think about upline much. But you just think like, oh, no one got hurt, so you know, I don't have to change yet. Something like that. It's like your parents, they feel, you know, they feel tired at the same time, but they still have to go to work because responsibility taking care of you. Yeah.
You said you had a perfectionist problem and you had ego before. So did you have a time where, because of that, you have hard time working with confidence, or like too independent, like working because you didn't want your outlines or other people to see?
That's a big problem. I think perfectionism is a form of fear, because you're afraid other people want to see your weak side, so you try to be perfect. But then over time, you have to accept that if you can be independent, you already have result. But if you don't have result, then you know you should not be independent, because it doesn't work. It's been a long time already. If you be that perfect, why don't you have a team? Yeah, so that's when I have to accept that I have to lower down my ego, and have to accept that I'm not that good. I'm weak, so my upline can be more involved in my team. Because when you're being perfect, then your upline you just block them from involving in your team. Because you don't want, you show that you're perfect, you can do this, you can do that, you never ask for feedback. Or if they give you feedback, you don't reflect well, but you your attitude is like, I know this already, so no one wants to come in. Yeah, so I have that problem with my upline too. So we really have a time to sit down and they have to know all my weakness, and I have to know theirs too, so we can work well together.
Yeah. How often should you expose yourself to your uplines? Is it like every single hour? Basically anything? Can you give like an example for them to?
I mean, if you can, you should like expose all the time. Because it's not like you expose and your upline gonna see and give you feedback right away. Because sometimes now if you want to expose the field, they're just so busy. We cannot just give you feedback. Right now it's like the more your team pro, you're desperate for this feedback. You want his feedback. Yeah, but now since you stay with your upline, so it's so much easier. Yeah. So if you don't expose, then you just kind of waste your time on success. I mean, right now, if you just by yourself, then the upline is still gonna be the one to take initiative to kind of look for you, find you. But then later on, it's like they have other people too, so they cannot just keep finding you and making food and feeding for you, right? So you have to be the one who come, and then don't just wait until like a long time and you realize that I don't have a team yet, or I don't have a result yet. You can't. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm not a type person who use the phone usually. So I do the things and just go my back, and I forgot to update to my apply. And then when I pick up the phone and check on the phone, I saw a message from my mother. Hey, why don't you update this? Why don't you update that? To that? Yeah. It just keep in mind all the time.
Because we have to understand that it's like they don't trust you on that thing yet. Because let's say you always be the person that have good budgeting, you never mess up on money, you never pay credit late or pay rent late, then you have that credibility you build up for them already. So they don't want to check on you. But since why your mom and dad have to check on you all the time when you go out, hang out with friends at night, because they're afraid that you're not coming home. They're afraid that you're gonna have car accident. But it's been multiple times that you come back and everything is okay, and they don't want to check on you again. Yeah. So just know that at the beginning they need that trust. They need that credibility. So it's okay for them to keep checking on you. But just a few months and you show that you're good on checking chat, or you're good on sending message, doing the habit. You don't need anyone to remind you, still report them. No one wants to check on you again because they have other stuff to do too. Yeah.
You guys have any other questions? So like what I heard at the first time we find people very quick and you bring so many people. So like how can I would say to them let them accept you and like how can you say them like bring them in the team? Hold on. Ý của em là cái như là nói như nào?
This one's about finding people because you can ask your upline too, but the reason why I got the team quick because
So basically,
I talked to my this.
I think his question is how can you attract people to your team? Because his problem is that he's not able to attract. He doesn't have that vibe. So
everybody has a vibe that attract the melon flag. Attract melon flag.
Hey,
No team full of melon flag.
No.
If you're not melon, you're not flag, you can't join the team.
No.
Yeah, but
There's a qualification.
yeah, but you have a rich background. I mean, you have to be careful. You have to have they love your parents in order for you to join quantity.
What a quantity.
Quantity.
Quantity, quality.
So
Someone in the training.
if
Learn.
So if I'm really excited about the opportunity. So every time I go to like my friends say in TCU, I ask them about like how they feel about their goals and their life and like how they envision their life. And then they give me a really like low quality answer. Like they didn't think about their life yet. And then I feel like I cannot associate with them because I have been in the process. So my mindset is growing, so it's different from them. So that's why I cannot associate with them. However, I want to build a long friendship with them so that I can understand them more. But right now, it's stuck at the point that I cannot associate with them in the first place.
Easily susceptible to people around influence. Stay with the strong, stay with the weak, weak. Easily influenced. That's called thermometer, not thermostat. Very sad. Sasha, why do you stay with people or you get influenced easily?
I don't know. Okay, so for me, I think for me it's different though, you know. Like for me it's different because like that before I met Kevin, like I have to survive by myself. There's no like mental backbone or anything. So I'm very, like I don't care what people say, Yeah, I mean, even now, I don't even care what people say, but I think, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I mistake it with like high ego, but I think for you, it's more like you're scared of doing the different thing, Scared of what people think of you, what people might say, right? For me, before the business, I don't have that, but when I do the business for a while, like I started to analyze people, I have the thinking that okay, I think that's all the people are thinking, are analyzing me the same way too. That's why. But easily influenced. I would say if I have like a very like clear goal and nobody can influence me.
Just general logic.
Yeah.
Anything people do, think, dissect it. Don't just put that into your heart. Yeah, I don't easily get influenced by people. Because if you quit tomorrow, you tell me that, hey, before I quit, I give you advice. You should do 20 appointments. I'll still listen to you. But if you stay, you tell me do 5 MG1, I won't listen. I don't listen based upon who told me the advice. I don't look at the advisor. I look at the quality of the advice. So if you hang around with me and you say certain things, I don't feel like that's really good quality. I will take it in. Now, I might not be able to relate and connect with you very well, but I don't easily get influenced. Because I know what is wrong. Ali said if you know the difference between the wrong advice and the right advice, then you don't need advice. You can be distinguished. You can be able to distinguish the wrong and the right, and normally you don't easily get influenced.
For the advice, not the people.
Yeah, I mean, if when you say the right thing, you take it. When you say the wrong thing, don't listen. That's it. Yeah, but whenever people say something to you, you don't really filter out. You just take it to your heart. That's why you easily get influenced. Meeting? We have meeting. Henry, you wanna? We're gonna have a break, right? It's a meeting. Personal time. We're gonna do personal time for anybody. For Henry.
I thought that
Henry.
Myra, no.
Henry, EDC ship.
Oh no, I left first.
One Q just launched Lexicon 7 from Linden.
Wow. They launched the 6 leg that went Eagle from Linden. That thing is not Macmillan, of course.
Does that answer your question? Yeah.
To sum up everything you guys been listening, you know,
we have no hope.
So like the black people they talk not too much. So how can I change from black to white?
just talk.
That's good.
But how like when standing in front of the person, like can be shy to talk?
Shy what?
Can be shy to talk. Like
When you sit next to them, you mean shy to talk?
front of
That's what you think. We don't care about you that much. Seriously.
You can change. Give us a game plan. Commitment.
I think one point earlier, a few pointed out was that what is it? The people who come from the background that they gotta struggle, that they gotta be flexible in life, like in Vietnam, they cannot be too Macmillan because if they are, they cannot handle the Vietnam life.
yeah.
You know, so maybe one of the ways probably going to work more, choose a job that you gotta speak up for yourself, choose a job that you gotta hustle, you know, set up some short-term goals so that you can, you know, go out and do something, you know, at HQ. I mean, in SoCal right now, the people who top the list now top the most. You know, people who like Kevin and Tanny, back then they used to be bằng mặt không bằng lòng là gì? Like they look
People face with
bro. They look happy outside, but inside they hate each other, basically. You know, because they are now like they hold grudges on each other. But I told them, sit down. And then I tell them, hey, this girl hate you. And that guy asks why. And then they resolve the problem. You know, yeah, so not that you guys don't talk, but you talk to yourself. Huh?
yeah. Think too much.
Yeah. Yeah, see? So if you really want to build this business and you know, make friends, stuff out there, and make a happy life, I think just to talk more and to be able to share your own emotions, feeling will help you a lot. Like getting a better job, getting a girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, getting people to trust you guys. Isn't it? That's a lot easier when you talk. You know, when you make mistakes, what can you do? Hey, let me clarify. If you say that I'm afraid of making mistakes, then probably I would break up with Anna already. Because we make so many mistakes. We argue a lot already. Yeah, so people are in here. One thing we can tell you that you know we don't hate the people who come back, but we hate the people who run away. Mà đánh kẻ chị đi chứ không phải chị lại á.
As long as we want to change, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you have the intention to change and you actually put the action in to change.
Little by little, okay? Little by
little.
little. One day, you know, practice, talk more. Right? Tanny in SoCal, she's the one that whenever she go from her room to the kitchen, nobody knows. Now I told her, you gotta step louder. You gotta say something when you see anybody. You gotta ask something, say something. Oh, you're here. Oh well, they love to comment about so many things. And now her team, Vicky, Jenny, and Kevin, they work with each other a lot better. You know, just to be human being with each other, it's a lot better.
So like before, like you say that like before, like in the past, that they just like hold grudge to each other, and what is the consequence of that? Anh Henry?
Consequence is they don't understand each other. Like they try, you know, but then deep inside they don't really, you know, they don't like something, they don't dare to say it out, which make them hate the other person.
And how does that relate to the business?
They are not unified.
Mm.
They're not unified. They hate each other. Yeah, so the same one. Originally they talk, but they don't know when to talk. The Melang, they don't talk at all. They gotta learn to talk, like over talk first. You know, I think, you know, when you're kids, right? You guys talk a lot. You guys scream, all the time, right?
I think Melang is hard to talk because they have to learn before they speak. So it takes every time like that, it takes so much time for them to think and, you know, what should I talk about? What should I share? What are people gonna think? So every time like that, generate a lot of energy. So they, you know, they prefer like, oh, okay, I will keep starting this a little bit better.
Oh no. It drains energy of other people too. Not just you guys. Ask Sasha how much energy she lost for the past 1 2 weeks in HQ.
You know, like before, I can do all the hard work. I can still stay home, go home. I can still be happy, do everything. But
so Kevin is a flex Melang, but I have a little bit of sanguine.
I cannot even celebrate.
Even the cat now quiet, man. The cat's supposed to meow meow.
No, too many people are gonna scare him.
Oh really?
Yeah, because the cat's afraid of. But tomorrow we're gonna get used to people here. Okay. He's very sang chó when nobody's here.
Anyway, you know. So the main point is to get you guys to speak up more, speak up for yourself more. But the good thing of yourself is that you can think, you can be aware, which is good. Keep it, you know.
Right. Sometimes you're aware too much of the reality. Like maybe that's my ability. I have been doing so much, but I don't have anything yet. Or something like that. Yeah. So I mean.
When I think later on will be 5 people sitting on a cubicle and discussing about the goal. And after they're done, they go home.
Sleep.
No, that's not what you want. That's what we want.
I feel like, you know, like whoever we are, we can only attract the located, same or below the standard.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, we're building a young team. So you cannot afford to talk about this 24/7. You know, it's gonna be something live too. You know. I read in a book a couple of days ago, or yesterday at the airport. It says if you work with your team, the daily conversation matters more than the formal conversations. Because the daily conversation reflect who they are.
Yeah.
The formal conversation sometimes is who they pretend to be.
Who they think, I mean, like their intelligence, but not their real person.
Yeah. All the life situation, you know, what matters. All the slack. Yeah. If you want to talk with her, anything?
I think that's it for Zoom. Thank you guys. You guys can get ready for PACE meeting. Bye bye.